Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some insanely spicy battles in the Mountain Cup featuring an XL level 50 GOLETT and Kartana. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now GOLETT, much like its evolution Golurk, is a ground and ghost type Pokemon, and for the moveset, GOLETT is running Mud Slap, Shadow Punch, and the legacy move of Return. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out XL GOLETT in action in the Mountain Cup. Hopping to the first match, leading Kartana into Frostlass. This is definitely where you want to see Frostlass on the team, so we are going to see Kartana shield once and commit to the Razor Leaf farm down as these Razor Leafs are shredding through the Frostlass. Frostlass is going to grab a shield, opponent save switches into Escav, Kartana banks a move for later, and now in comes XL GOLETT. GOLETT is able to double resist the counter damage from Escav. Escav has to land multiple drill runs to KO here. GOLETT farming up, winning CMP over the Escavalier. Shadow Punch is enough to KO, and down goes Escav. Opponent probably going to be sending back in the Frostlass, but if they do, GOLETT will be able to make it to a Shadow Punch and grab a shield from the Frostlass. Shadow Punch is going to grab a shield, opponent looking to farm down, but remember, Kartana banked a move, Kartana easily wins CMP, the opponent recognizing that, and they go for the shield and farm down. So Night Slash will be shielded, Kartana gets farmed down, and now it's all up to Shadow Gliscor in the back. Gliscor expending its final shield on the Avalanche. What does the opponent have? They have a Diggersby in the back, and this is very good news for Shadow Gliscor, as non-stab fire punches basically do no damage. Gliscor going for the Earthquake here. This is going to hurt. Earthquake, big damage onto the Diggersby, and from here, Gliscor can very comfortably farm up to the back-to-back Night Slashes. First one will take care of the Diggersby's remaining HP, and Night Slash number 2 will be for getting rid of that pesky Frostlass. They fire off the Fire Punch. That does get Gliscor low, but Gliscor does have enough energy here, going for Night Slash number 1. Down goes Diggersby, and Night Slash number 2. Gliscor taking down the Frostlass, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, and we've got the same leads Kartana into Frostlass. Same as last time, just gonna stay in with Kartana, one shield and Razor Leaf all the way down. Frostlass getting absolutely shredded by the Razor Leaves, but Kartana is taking a ton of damage in return as well. Kartana able to get the full farm down. Let's see what they have in the back. Opponent sends in a Regirock, and it looks like they are double weak to grass in the back. That's able to grab a shield. We see a pivot into GOLETT. GOLETT farming up energy here, going for the Shadow Punch, and the Shadow Punch is going to be caught onto Whiscash. Whiscash unfortunately does have Blizzard, which would absolutely crush GOLETT. GOLETT farming up, not gonna make it to a return, calling the bait. It's the Blizzard, and down goes GOLETT, but in comes Kartana, absolutely shredding through the Whiscash. In comes the Regirock, and Regirock banked a lot of energy here, but Kartana can just shield. These Razor Leafs going to shred through the Regirock. Regirock with a sliver of HP makes it to one final Stone Edge, but from here, Gliscor comfortably farms down and gets the win. Moving into the next match, and we're 3 for 3 on seeing ice types on the lead. Kartana into Lapras. Opponent save switches into a Shadow Nidoqueen, gonna bank some energy, and in comes XL GOLETT. GOLETT will be hit with the Earth Power, able to hang on, and GOLETT gets the farm down. Unfortunately, not quite able to leave with the Shadow Punch, and that means that Lapras is going to be able to leave with energy. Tried to go for CMP there, but the Lapras ends up going for the extra. Leaf Blade gets the shield, opponent throws on alignment in return, and now I think Kartana can shield and simultaneously KO. It's gonna be close, it is a simul. What's in back? It's Abomasnow! No! And Abomasnow wins CMP over Gliscor. At this point, they know it's over, and the Weather Ball KOs. Picking up a tricky lead in the next match, Kartana into Diggersby. Razor Leaf is gonna shred, but Kartana cannot take a Fire Punch. Farming up, and a very nice catch, catching the Fire Punch onto GOLETT. GOLETT able to absorb that damage. Opponent gonna send in a Shadow Nidoking. Opponent running Spice as well, but they clearly had no idea what GOLETT's moveset is, because GOLETT is absolutely shredding with Mud Slap. We'll have to see what nuke move are they running. It's a Mega Horn. That barely does not KO, and GOLETT is able to farm down. In the back, opponent has Credilli, and oh man, Credilli is absolutely terrible when going up against Kartana. Kartana able to apply a lot of neutral pressure with the Razor Leaf and the Leaf Blade, and this double resisted Grass Knot is actually a move that Kartana can survive. Kartana takes it, it's a simultaneous switch. Diggersby into Gliscor, and there's just nothing the opponent can do at this point. Diggersby undercharges the Fire Punch, and they concede the match. Picking up an absolutely awful lead in the next match, Kartana into Mawile. Most Mawile in this cup are running Fire Fang, so we will see a save switch into GOLETT, and the opponent sends out Quagsire. Quagsire, I have to say, is probably one of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm definitely happy to see it getting some play here in the Mountain Cup. Shadow Punch, able to grab a shield, and at this point, I just think you let this go. Opponent has to EQ to KO, they bait with a Stone Edge, and suddenly, GOLETT can make a play for switch here. GOLETT is going to be shielding up Stone Edge number 2, GOLETT farming up and going for the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch not going to be enough to KO, but it will get the Quagsire low. Quagsire lets it through, Mud Slap, able to KO, and down goes Quagsire. Opponent gonna send in the Mawile, tried to go for the Shadow Punch, but not able to get the move off. That is unfortunate. Mawile firing off a charge move here. Gliscor lets it through. That's the Iron Head, and that deals massive damage. Farming up, going for the Earthquake, and it's caught onto Stunfisk. Earthquake is going to KO. In comes Kartana, and Kartana just gets shredded by those Fire Fangs, and that's game over. Moving into the next match, we see Kartana into another Diggersby. As we've seen, these Razor Leafs do a lot of damage, but Kartana really does not want to take a Fire Punch. Kartana choosing to stay in this time and shield the Fire Punch. Opponent gonna save switch into Escavalier, and Escav will be answered with Shadow Gliscor. Gliscor does have a very good matchup here. Escav fires off the Drill Run, and that just does nothing to the Gliscor. Gliscor didn't quite farm up to the Earthquake here, but Night Slash will still do a lot. Opponent committing the shield, so they may not have a great answer to a healthy Gliscor. Gliscor, Night Slash is gonna get the Escav low. Escav able to make it to one final charge move here. Escav goes for another Drill Run, able to hang on and get the farm down. Odds are they're probably not sending in the Diggersby. They have a Frostlass, and Frostlass gets the perfect farm, and that is honestly quite scary. In comes GOLETT, but GOLETT definitely does not appreciate an energy lead Frostlass here. GOLETT is going to be committing the shield. We're going to see a switch into Kartana, and Kartana makes it to the Night Slash. Night Slash will be pressuring the final shield from the opponent. These Razor Leafs dealing a lot of damage, so Frostlass fires off the charge move. Frostlass may have been able to farm down, but did not want to risk it. GOLETT makes it to the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch is going to KO, but the Diggersby is still alive in the back. In comes the Diggersby. Diggersby goes for a Fire Punch. Now GOLETT, pretty glassy, but a Fire Punch is not going to KO here. GOLETT farming up these Mud Slaps, adding up and going for the Shadow Punch. This is double resisted. I don't think this is going to be enough to KO. It doesn't, but the opponent thought they died. They stopped tapping. GOLETT farms down and gets the win. Hopping into the next match, picking up the worst possible lead you could see, Kartana into Shadow Abomasnow. Shadow Abomasnow beats this entire team, so I am not sure how you can possibly play out of this. Abomasnow is taking a lot of resistant damage from Razor Leafs, but it's already at a second Weather Ball, and just like that, the battle's already begun, and both shields have been used. Kartana going for the Night Slash, hoping the opponent just lets the Abomasnow go, and they do. Looking to pivot into GOLETT. In comes Magcargo. These Mud Slaps tearing through Magcargo. Opponent panics and switches out into Escavalier. They could have stayed in and gone for the overheat, but instead they send in Escav, and Escav does not have a great matchup here either. Escav is going to be firing off the Drill Run. Drill Run lands. GOLETT, can it make it to the Shadow Punch? No, it cannot, but this sets up Gliscor. Gliscor should be able to tank whatever they throw, fully farm down, and leave with a ton of energy, but honestly, a catch is still probably needed to win this game. Gliscor gets the full farm down. Opponent gonna send in Magcargo, goes for the Night Slash right away, and they get an entire free Incinerate. That's unfortunate, but Redemption! We see Redemption getting the catch onto Kartana. Oh my goodness. Gliscor makes it to the Earthquake, and that will be game over. Goodbye, Magcargo, and that is a good game. Picking up a terrible lead in the next match, Kartana into Lucario. Thankfully, two pretty good answers in the back, so we will see an immediate save switch into GOLETT. These mud slaps tearing through Lucario. Opponent gonna send in Diggersby. Diggersby, unfortunately, is a very effective counter here, as GOLETT has to farm all the way up to a return. Earthquake, barely not enough to KO, and we do actually get to see a return being fired. That deals some sizable damage onto the Diggersby, but not enough to take switch advantage. Here, you just send in the Shadow Gliscor, tank whatever they throw, and just fully commit to the farm down, and hope that Gliscor with energy can do well against their final Pokemon. Gliscor looking for the farm down here. Gliscor not quite able to get the farm down. Diggersby going for one final fire punch. Opponent gives up switch. Opponent got impatient. They give up switch. They send in the hard counter of Lapras. And that mistake, unfortunately, is going to cost them the game. Kartana gets the Razor Leaf down, leaves with energy to threaten Lucario. Lucario kind of has to shield everything here. Lucario shielding a Night Slash. Gliscor has so much energy. Gliscor going for the Night Slash bait. Honestly, Night Slash would still do a lot of damage, gets the shield, goes for the Earthquake, it's a CMP tie, but that means the opponent is not going to be able to catch. Power-up punch, gets shielded, no shields remaining to protect Lucario. Earthquake lands, down goes Diggersby, and that is a good game. Picking up a pretty decent lead in the next match, Kartana into Dugong. You definitely want to see the Ice type on the lead with this team, and these Razor Leafs are going to add up. Dugong able to withstand the Razor Leaf damage and make it to an icy win. Kartana is going to commit an early shield. Kartana looking for the farm down, but the opponent snipes with Magcargo. But Magcargo going to get torn to shreds by these mud slaps. Not quite able to farm down. This is easily enough for the overheat. Opponent anticipates the shield and goes for the Rock Tomb. That is a little unfortunate. In comes Dugong. The fact that they're bringing in a Dugong at this low HP means they are definitely weak to GOLETT in the back. GOLETT is going to fire off Shadow Punch number 2. Is GOLETT going to get both shields here? Shadow Punch gets both shields. They're firing off a charge move. And at this point, GOLETT will be KO'd. You just have to hope that Shadow Gliscor can do well in the back. In comes the Gliscor. It's a Camerupt in the back. This will come down to moveset. Camerupt not able to make it to the killing move. Camerupt must not have been running overheat. Dugong will get wing attack down as Gliscor gets the win. Hopping into the final match, leading Kartana into Escavalier. Dreadful lead. We see an immediate switch into GOLETT. Escav staying in this matchup. This is not a good matchup for them, but honestly, they may just see the CP and think, you know what? I can get rid of this GOLETT, no problem. It's only 1380 CP. GOLETT goes for the Shadow Punch. That's going to land. GOLETT gets the farm down and leaves with a charge move loaded as well. Opponent gonna send in a Charm Alolan Ninetales. Ninetales will be hit with the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch gets a shield, but now you can align the Ninetales onto the Kartana. Kartana, these Razor Leaf shredding through the Ninetales. Ninetales will be grabbing a shield with the Weather Ball, but the nice thing is these charms are resisted. It definitely wouldn't look it if you take a look at Kartana's health bar, but Kartana gets the farm down and it's Diggersby in the back, and that's going to be game over. Kartana, Leaf Blade, gets the shield, in comes the Gliscor, and this is just a thoroughly miserable matchup for Diggersby unless they're running Hyper Beam, which they are not. In this meta, you do typically want to run Earthquake, and unfortunately, Diggersby may be wishing that it had Hyper Beam in this moment, as it just has nothing for the Shadow Gliscor. Earthquake gets them low, Gliscor gets the farm down, and that is a good game. All in all, these were some incredibly fun battles. XL GOLETT has to be one of the spiciest picks I've ever seen. I've never even seen one in any league whatsoever, and combining that on the same team with a great league Kartana, which I believe you have to trade to get, makes for an incredibly unique team, and definitely a good reminder that sometimes the game can get really stressful, so it can be nice from time to time to run some spicier picks, run some fun picks, and make sure that you're having fun while you're playing as well. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.